Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. In this episode, I will be showing you some kind of improvisation using one of the power nodes in Sverchok, and that's called multi-extrude add-on. So I talked about this node way back ago in the past, but I think I should pay more attention to this today. So we're gonna start with a plane, and I'm gonna make subdivision of the plane. And I'm gonna connect this into the power node. So multi-extrude. This was actually come from an add-on. I forgot the name of the developer, but it was converted by Zephy into an add-on, into a nodes. So these nodes will not work unless you plug in this face mask. But this face mask is kind of special. It does not work with a 0 and 1 value, but it works with a number. So range number, and we're gonna be using maybe step. So we have a start, step, and a count. Let's just plug this in. So by default, the count is 10. Actually, that's gonna work for us because we have maybe 9. Okay, let's say we have 9 of polygon face at the beginning. If you still don't know what I'm doing, I'm gonna reduce the scale, and you can see these nodes will actually do multiple extrusions randomly. So if you do a lot of multiple extrusions, this node is kind of doing a lot of things underneath, including scaling, rotations, location, and all that. You can randomize very easily. You can repeat also. So it's quite powerful, but with lots of extrusions all at the same time, you can end up with something that's kind of super complex too easily unless you know how to control it. So yeah, with this mask, you will understand what the mask is doing. So you just give it a range of number. So use a stethoscope. Look at the number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5. We have 6 face that's being extruded. If we have 9, we have 9 face. Okay, so that's easy to understand, right? So let's save it. So save it as multi-extrude advanced. And you can do all sort of things, but I'm gonna do that later. So you can rotate in X, rotate in Y, you can twist it as well. Let me zero it out for now. Let's actually create another one of these. So again, it's complaining it doesn't have this face mask. The face masking will work. So if I'm using the same one, it's gonna continue extruding up. Looks like it's gonna continue. If we actually start with this value of 9, so value of 9 should be coming from this polygon face. We plug that in. So if we use the value of 9 as a start, and we increase this number, so we can basically extrude the face that's, so we start with the beginning with the original 9 face, we extrude it up 5 times. The next one is gonna extrude from the new faces basically. So you can have it like this. This is actually more controllable. So you can reduce the repeat, maybe only 3 times. You can actually reduce the scale as well. Oh, the scale apparently cannot be too small. You can randomize the noise. So it's starting to look much more interesting. So that's the rotation, right? This end rotation, I think, related to the rotation variable. So there's also the scale noise, and there's offset variable. So once you start doing that, things started to get quite interesting. So let's not do a twist. Just rotate in X and Y. Rotation variables, scale noise. A probability is actually something that's quite interesting, but that's gonna affect a lot of things. It's how much probability is gonna extrude itself. Maybe just add a little bit, but what you might notice that we also we cannot control the seed here. You cannot animate the seed. However, you can animate the seed if you are using animation nodes, or if you somehow use the expression editor, or in Sverchok you use formula, but formula is a little bit weird to work with. So I tend to use animation nodes for this. So it's gonna get kind of weird now. We're gonna use expression node. Expression node in animation node is really powerful. You can actually control and drive anything with it. First of all, I'm gonna turn off auto execution because it's can be very tasking. Turn off always. Just turn on this. Okay, cool. Now I want to control the seed using animation nodes. Okay, so I think control option shift copy and paste it here. If you get DPY data node groups, this is correct. And we're gonna provide a new input, which is gonna be integer. And I'm just gonna plug it right there, equal X. So now this X, if we have a number, like a integer number, plug it into the X, this animation node is now controlling Sverchok. You can use animate integer, or we don't have animate integer, we can have animate float. We can actually do something cool like this. So time goes in, start and end, maybe start and end 250 frame, durations 20. So between 0 and 250 frame is gonna try to animate from 0 to 20. I can show it to you. So this is, oh actually, so 0, oh actually I was wrong. So let's do it this way. We want 0 to 100 with the duration of 20. So within just 20 frames, it's gonna go from 0 to 100. Okay, so we can do that, or we can actually do this as well. 0 to 100. The value go from 0 to 100, and then because the value is floating value, we're gonna convert it into integer as well, so that this works better. So now between 0 and 100, it's gonna be animating. Okay, so cool, that makes sense. We can actually do the same with this guy if you like. So let's arrange this a little bit better. This is the viewer, this is your own value. Alright, so we have that working. We can center this out. We can do something a little bit crazier. Let's do adaptive polygons. This one actually likes to have a polygon, like a quad. So we need let's create a quad. Let's start with icosphere and then use dual mesh. and then subdivide it as quad. So a lot of things here, a lot of things going on. This is going to be the recipient. This is going to be the donor. This is basically tissue add-on on the fly. Alright, so we have this. We can join it. Join and merge can be slow, so let me just turn it off. So basically we plug in our extrusion, like crazy extrusion, into this guy. If we bake it, oh, it's going to be separated. We have to join anyway, so we're going to join them. Remove doubles, yes. Let's bake. So this is the result that we get. It's pretty powerful, but also can be slightly complicated. But I guess this is like intermediate. Just now I just apply subdivisions. That's why it gets really slow now. Subdivision. But I think this node really quite powerful, and you can recreate this using your own nodes, but you're gonna end up with maybe a lot of nodes. However, you still have more control for each one of this noise. And this guy is actually animating as well, even though it's slow. So at this point you really want to maybe export it as Alembic, and you can have animations. It does look like some kind of creatures. I think the adaptive polygon is slightly too aggressive in this case. So let me save this. We can do it differently. So we have this. We can actually use tessellations. Oh, I know why. This is why it's so complicated, because the bottom part is actually the way it's extruding it. We end up with multiple phase here. It would be a lot nicer if we start with not too many phase and then we extrude it little bit by a little bit. So here, maybe we extrude it higher, and this one less extrusion. This offset is actually pushing it on the normal, and that's probably what you want. So offset variations, random variations on the normal. So, and then you can bake it, and you can use something like tissue add-on for this. Tissue add-on is an add-on that I always have here. I always install the latest tissue add-on whenever I download new Blender from Alessandro Zomparelli, because this one gives you a lot of cool stuff. Convert to dual mesh, right? You have this, and then you can subdivide, and you have this quad to work with. Apply. So you can connect this to this guy, just hit tessellate, and there's a lot of option here as well, a lot of parameters. Supposedly you can tweak it. Quad or fan, supposedly quad works. My feeling is that this one have to be at the center of the world. Let me try again. Delete this. Cancel quad. Okay, you can turn on quick use modifier. Oh well, maybe there's a bug, but it's supposedly it's doing what Sverchok is doing with adaptive modifier, with adaptive polygons here. Very similar, but tissue add-on have a lot more underneath. So well, so that's yeah, that's multi-extrude advanced, where you actually have more control of what being extruded. It's not the simplest one. It's not the simplest nodes to work with, but you can end up with a lot of super complex results very quickly. So it's really quite powerful. Okay, so yeah, hopefully you find this interesting. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.